Most areas of fandom here at Maple Leaf Gardens are strictly biased for Team Canada. Here at the North End, it's no exception. Tell me, what do you think about this game?
I think it's fantastic. It's really a lot better than I expected it would be.
What did you expect it to be?
Well, I didn't know the WHA was as good as it turned out to be.
Well, I'll tell you, they got a lot of good hockey players. What do you think?
I think they're fantastic, and I think the WHA is going to win 5 games.
That's a good. Hey, that's pretty good. 5 games you predict, eh? What'd you think about that penalty shot by Mike Walton?
Well, he had the corner picked, but the goalie, Jackie's been robbing everybody blind tonight. So.
If you had that shot to make yourself, what would you do with it?
I'd probably eat the puck myself. I don't know.
You'd probably faint by the time you got to the blue line. What do you think about it all?
Fantastic, just great.
Have you always been a hockey fan?
Yep, ever since my father was referee, yep.
He was a referee? And you still like hockey? Oh, brother, I'll tell you. What do you think about this?
I think it's exciting action and a lot of hard hitting.
Who do you think's going to win, though?
Canada, all the way.
Do you think we can hang on through this last 20 minutes here?
Well, Team Canada's shown they've had great shape in Quebec. I think the goaltending of Jerry Cheever is going to be a very major factor in this series.
I'll tell you, that Trechak's not a bad goaltender either. Who's going to win a third period? Who's going to win this thing?
Canada!
That's what I thought. Let's grab the Don Cherry. Don?
All right, Tom, you got some happy fans there with a good reason to be, because their team leads 3-1 as we're getting ready now for the commencement of play in the third period here. And here's one of the spectators at Maple Leaf Gardens, Clarence Campbell, the National Hockey League president, a spectator at this game. Of course, Mr. Campbell has long been an advocate of international competition between the pros and the Soviets, the best the Europeans have to offer, and I'm sure he's enjoying it along with the rest of us. Billy Harris, the coach of this team, has to be concerned at the back of his mind about Gordie Howe's availability. As we say, Gordie was taken to hospital for x-rays. The ribs he injured in the first period, and we hope to know later about more precisely the condition of Gordie Howe. Right now, Team Canada has got the third period to play with a 2-goal lead, Howie, and how might they best approach that?
Just don't get two fellas caught, that's all. Don't go for goal number 4 or take unnecessary chances till they get goal number 2. And coming out of their own end, again, I've noticed that we're trying to sneak a man out while the Russians are down 2 goals. They've got to send 3 people into forecheck, and when we're going to make that long pass out to the fellow trying to break away to get another goal, if it's not on his stick, if it's in his skates, then the Russians are going to come up with it. We just can't take a chance in our own end.
Might add by that sign that not everybody is cheering for just one team here. Soviets have got a few spectators over, but nothing like the estimated 2,500 expected to go to Moscow for the 4 games there from Canada. Shots on goal in the first period, the Soviets outshot Canada 13-10. In the second, Canada outshot the Soviets 16-8. So 26-21 shots on goal favoring Team Canada as they come to center ice for the third period faceoff. Serge Bernier drives it back to Lyapkin ahead. The number 19, Shadrin, down the boards. Yakushev, the only goal scorer for the Soviets so far, number 15, being bumped now by Poole. Gets the puck free to J.C. Tremblay. He's being harassed in behind the goal. Plays it around the board. Shadrin had a pass out, blocked by Whitey Stapleton. Stapleton now to Houle on the right side. Across the Soviet line. Swings around Lyapkin, still has it. Centering pass, loose in there. Sagankov gave it back to him. And it's recovered by the Soviet player Shadrin out to center ice and inside the line for number 15, Yakushev, and it's whistled down. An offside call at the Team Canada blue line. There he is, number 15, Alexander Yakushev, the top scorer in the last series for the Soviets, 7 goals and 4 assists. He got a goal tonight that for a moment looked as though it sparked his team to a more aggressive offensive effort against Team Canada. But that's the only goal they have so far. 3-1 is the score. 9:24 remaining in the first half of this period. They will change ends at the 10-minute mark, of course. Now here is number 8, Kapustin, getting it back to Vladimir Luchenko. He's being watched by Mike Walton for Team Canada. Out to Maltsev. Walton poke checks him. Gets the puck to Paul Henderson, in turn taken away by Maltsev. Out to Kapustin. His pass for Kotov, broken out by Paul Henderson. Down the ice it goes. Kuznetsov gave it away to Henderson. Kotov smartly rode him off the puck and allows number 10, Maltsev, to take over at the Team Canada line. Drop pass. Poorly aimed for Kapustin. Freewheeling wide open play now, rather loose at this stage early in the final period. Here's Kapustin being ridden off by Schmier. Got it in front though, and Cheevers with a glove out will hold on. But Maltsev gets a little roughing up at the edge of the Team Canada crease. The third game is coming up in Winnipeg on Saturday afternoon. That'll be a 2 o'clock Eastern start. Here's Kapustin coming in on Schmier.
Watch Schmier finish the check. This is the key. Greetings. When you hear that thump, when the fella goes by the post, watch Schmier reach for the puck, try to take him now, come up here. And the Russians know every time they handle a puck, that's what they're going to get. They'll be tiptoeing through the tulips.
Petrov in the faceoff gets a backhand shot, a rebound opportunity. He scores. It's in the goal. It is 3-2. That red light is on. The official has not stopped the play. The puck definitely went in. The red light went on. The play's going right on here. I can't understand it, Howard. The Soviets are protesting at the bench. The officials are totally confused, but play is going right on. Here is Bobby Hull now. They'll call him offside of the blue line and try to collect their thoughts. The officials now are being challenged by number 13, Boris Mikhailov, but unless my eyes were deceiving me, Howie, that puck was in and out.
Well, from up here, I'd have to say it was in on nothing else but the angle that it come out on. It had to hit the top of the net in behind and come straight down. Just a series of Canadian players again.
There it is.
Hit the crossbar. No, it hit dead center in the net. Watch.
Right in the net and out again. The Soviets, the goal judge had the light on for a good 6 or 7 seconds. Here's a good look at it. That's in the net. No question about it. A goal for the USSR. But the officials who were earlier confused at a penalty shot, let play go on, have ignored this one.
Watch the middle netting that hangs down, wave back and forth.
No question about it. But can they, after the fact, allowing play to go on, not stopping it, they call an offside down here to stop play, allow a goal on the evidence of the goal judge now? Apparently it is no goal. They do not have the benefit of our replay, and the score is going to remain 3-1. Well, can you top that one? Kulagin upset, understandably. But there is little he can do about it.
Well, these things happen in the game of hockey. I've seen quite a few go in that were not counted. And I've also seen goals that weren't in that were counted. It's just the rub of the green.
Well, that's a big one right there. Soviets persisting in their contention that it was in.
Well, it certainly did look like it. There's no doubt about it. It'll be interesting to get Jerry Cheever's observation after the game and the fellas that were on the ice.
There's Nikolai Ozerov, the Soviet commentator, and I wonder what he's telling the folks in Moscow right now.
Probably what you and I said, that from up here it looked like it was in.
His hand gestures tell us there's no doubt the puck was in the goal. There it is. Well inside. Happened so fast, Cheevers himself had no idea it was in. He thought it was a crossbar because it came snapping out of there and play carried right on.
Our forwards get wheeling to the attack too soon, and when you do that, these Russians just...
Howie, excuse me. I think the Soviets, Kulagin, are going to pull their team here now. Kulagin has called them over. Team Canada is lined up for the face-off. He's gesturing with his hands to give us a goal, or you can only speculate, but he called his entire unit on the ice over to the bench. He will not allow this to go on until he gets some assurance that he's going to get a goal, but the officials have made their ruling. They're saying no. But the way he called them over, I thought maybe he's just going to pack it in right here. And these officials certainly are not taking charge, Howie, the way they might.
Would be interesting to know just what's going through the Russians' mind.
Well, we're going to have some time to wait. With the score, Canada 3 and the Soviets 1. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
Это банк, где люди составляют разницу.
Well, the great debate still goes on here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Referee Brown being more than patient with Coach Kolagan.
Well, Brown was standing in perfect position to call it. And
let's see it again now. Here's another angle. That is in the goal. There's no question whatsoever. Top of the net, right out again.
well, I would have to say that he's not getting the protection of the goal judge. If he went and asked the goal judge, and the goal judge again insisted that it was in the net, then I would say that would take the onus off of him. I believe the majority of the people in the building realized that it had to be in.
Well, it was. The red light was on. The officials did not even look at it. It was on for 6 or 7 seconds while play continued. Now the face-off of the center ice zone. Play has finally resumed. The Russians have lost the argument. They're hanging in there. Lacroix on the right side now against Petrov. Let's see what kind of reaction the Soviets have to that ruling. Here's Bobby Hull across the line. It is offside. McKenzie a step ahead of him on the right side. We are informed the goal judge told the referee the goal was not in, yet he put the light on for about 7 seconds. Now, here is a chance beside the Team Canada goal. Mikhailov to Harlamov to an open wing. Moving up on it now is Lee. Ahead to Hull. Long shot. That was offside. Kenzie again getting in just ahead of the play after Bobby Hull's shot. And we have 7:29 in a weird third period. First half of it remaining here at Maple Leaf Gardens.
I would think, Don, that across this great country of ours, there's many fine hockey players that have represented us and play in Europe and particularly in Russia, and they've had goals called against them and penalties called against them that really hurt, and I think they're kind of sitting there thinking, well, over the long run, things even up.
In the long run, they usually do. That's right. Now here is Houle getting it back to Tremblay. Havlich fell in his own zone. Bernier tries to play it ahead, does. Gets it inside the line against number 19, Vladimir Shadrin, who recovers. Now in the center ice area, it's Pat Stapleton. Back to his defense partner, J.C. Tremblay, number 3. Stapleton ahead to Frank Mahavlich. Into the center zone for Rezhan Houle. Now Bernier, it carries on inside the line. Lyapkin gives it to Mahavlich. We're going to have a very late offside called. How the officials can be so easily criticized, but these fellows are really, really getting behind.
Well, he might have had his hand up, the fella here who called it for a slow whistle.
Face off outside the blue line. Bernier against Maltsev. Bernier wins that, shoots it inside. Lutsenko to Kotov. Into the slot, coming down to Maltsev across the blue line. Swings around Tremblay, who falls. Stapleton to the corner. Mahavlich tipping it. Trapped by Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov's shot was blocked by Stapleton. Rebound on the stick of Rezhan Houle. Houle to center ice for Team Canada. Had it taken away from him. Now it is J.C. Tremblay. Relayed from Bernier to Stapleton. Too far from Mahavlich down the ice. He touched the puck. There'll be no icing there. Number 3. Vladimir Lutsenko for the USSR starting out. Score still 3-1. 6:15 to play in the first half of the third period. Cheevers stopping it for Stapleton. Round to Paul Henderson. Tied up by Kuznetsov. And they freeze it for a faceoff. Team Canada has thrown 115 body checks, our game recorder tells us tonight.
Well, they'd better start throwing them again, because the last 2 shifts we've been sticking the stick out and skating by the Russian player, and there's no way in the world that we're going to tie this hockey game unless we get right back to taking the man.
The recorder shows on average they have been letting up in that area in the last few minutes. 6:06 to play in the first 10-minute portion of period 3. Team Canada 3, the USSR 1. Here's Schmier behind the goal, tied up by Petrov, goes down, hangs on for a faceoff. Don't forget, Game 3 Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time from the Winnipeg Arena. from Vancouver Monday, the fourth game of this confrontation at 8 Eastern Time. Then overseas for games in Finland and Sweden, and then, of course, our televised coverage resumes out of Moscow beginning October the 1st. Now here is Paul Schmier heading up. Chased back by Petro. Mikhailov gets it away from Rick Smith. McGregor blocked it. McGregor battling against the boards with Mikhailov, wins it. Out comes number 20, Bruce McGregor, now with the Edmonton Oilers, across the line. Passing it in front for Henderson. Oh, Tretiak just got back in time across the crease to make the save. Schmier off the plexiglass down to number 6, Vasiliev. Checking by McGregor, wins it. Here's Mike Walton shooting, and Tretiak hung on, and that one hurt. That one hurt Tretiak.
Look at, yeah, come on. That Tretiak has to be something else. Look at, he realizes the only option is the shot. Well, here's the play. Look, back in the net and made the great save on Henderson. Now, let's see if we can't get the shot. Look how deep he is. Back in the net and make the great play in Henderson. Now, we should really try to get the shot if we possibly can of Walton. Well, we'll get that for you, just to show how he plays
hurt him, but he's hanging in there. Now flexing that left arm of his as his teammates go down the ice. It is Yakushev across the line, dropping it back for Lebedev, and he shoots wide. Great drive by Lebedev. Sagankov to Shadrin. Here's Lievkin's shot. That is wide of the goal. Bounces around to an open zone to Ralph Backstrom. Back checking now. The Soviets coming on stronger here with 5 minutes to play in the first half of this period. Chopped out to center ice. Sagankov as Backstrom charges him. Almost stole the puck. Gennady Sagankov across the line. A weak shot. Cheevers lost it, but hangs on. Went off one skate between his legs, and he had to hold it. Three to 1, Team Canada leading the USSR. First 3 goals scored by Canada, Backstrom, Lacroix, and Hull. And then it was Yakushev, 13:09 of the second period, with the only Soviet goal that's gone on the board so far tonight. One of 2 that obviously went in. Here's Kuznetsov now, being hounded, lost the puck to Lacroix, comes back inside the Soviet zone, a motion by Luchenko, then he carries it across the ice. With a pass that is broken up by Bobby Hull. Shot deflected by Kuznetsov. Hull gets it back to McKenzie. McKenzie across the crease for Lacroix. Could not quite get his stick on it. They spin in the corner, get turned around. Fans calling for a penalty on Kuznetsov. Play going on. Out to center ice. Lacroix chopping it down under pressure from Kuznetsov. Gets it away on the right side. Bobby Hull will wind up inside the line with a shot wide. Off the Soviet net at the back. It's caught on the mesh, and they will have a face-off. Hull unloaded on Tretiak. The Winnipeg game, even though it will be 2 o'clock Eastern time, of course, is 1 o'clock for you fans out in Winnipeg Central Time.
Watch Bobby Hull's shot here. It comes straight out, gets on the net. A little interesting confrontation right here. Watch the Russian stop and Johnny McKenzie come in. Went for the short side, but Tretiak had it well covered.
Bobby scored on the far side from a few feet further in the first game in Quebec to give this team quite a lift. Right now it is Harlamov losing it in the center ice area. Schmier played it ahead. It is inside the Soviet line for Vasiliev. Fyodorov is on now, making one of his rare appearances on defense for the Soviet Union, a new defenseman. Lead pass out to Frank Mahovlich with Bernier. Mahovlich had to wait for it. Finally clears it inside the Soviet zone. 3.5 minutes left in the first 10-minute section of this third period. Harlamov swings away from Bernier inside the Team Canada line. Over for Fyodorov on the left side. Setting, shooting, block, loose in front, shot wide. Fyodorov around in front of the goal. And they drop on it right there. Schmier ahead of Cheevers to hang on. I'll tell you, Paul Schmier, who took some needless runs for penalties the other night, has been a very solid game, I think, Howie.
I would say if I had to pick a defenseman, he and Sell would have played extremely well. I think what you have to watch here is the Canadians, look, we're reaching for the puck, see? Not the man, reaching for the puck. All the way through this whole series and prior to it, we have fellas going out of position, chasing the puck, not taking the man. And I would think it's perhaps a sign of being a little tired.
Here's a lead pass for Henderson, a bit too far. Goes right down to Tretiak's doorstep. Number 5, Liapkin, will play one right back, just wide of Cheevers. There is no icing called on it. In the corner is Selwood tying up the Soviet attacker, gets help from McGregor, and they force a face-off with 2:59 to play in the first 10-minute period of the third period.
For the first time this evening, that Russian team is starting to look like a hockey club.
They appear to be gaining composure as this period wears on. They're 2 goals down. Here is Shadrin winning the draw, getting it back to Sagankov. His hard drive goes wide of Jerry Cheever's goal. Yakushev gets it across to Sagankov again. Turned around by McGregor. The relay on the left side. Loose in front. Cleared by Cheevers. Soviets still have it. Lebedev, number 11. Sagankov from the point. Booming shot. Was blocked by Mike Walton, number 4. Lebedev a second chance. All around the goal. Lebedev beside the net. Forced in behind. Still has the puck. Gets it up to Liapkin. He fanned on it. Now a break for Mike Walton. Walton with a break down the right side around Sagankov. Cannot get a shot away. It does go wide finally. And Liapkin, number 5, comes back for the USSR as Team Canada will change on the exchange. Here's Lebedev with Shadrin inside the line. Across to Yakushev. Down to the corner, being watched in there by Stapleton. Falls on top of him, gets the puck, and then holds it. Smart move by Whitey Stapleton as the Team Canada club was changing as the Soviets swept across the blue line.
Rick Lay a few moments ago took a Russian player out beside the net the way it should be done. A lot of people were really worried about the caliber of the Team Canada defensemen, but gee whiz, they're playing extremely well.
They certainly have surprised everybody, and perhaps there was no need for us to be surprised. Solid veteran professional hockey defenseman. Now Maltsev tries to get it across to Kotov. That's broken up on the right side by McKenzie. Swings inside the Soviet line. McKenzie tries to pass it out to Hull. It's behind Tremblay, heading back to his defense post. He did not see it. Maltsev, number 10, at the Team Canada line. Leaves it there for Kapustin. His shot, booming, goes wide. In behind is Cheevers, out of the goal. Back on the point to Kuznetsov. Took lots of time. Cheevers back in. Here's Kapustin in front for Kotov. A rebound right there. Oh, it swings by as Maltsev could not get a direct shot on goal. Swung him around the goal. Tremblay defending with Stapleton. Now here is number 8, Kapustin, coming out as the Soviets gain momentum. He goes for a tumble. Tremblay gets it out too far for Bobby Hull. The Soviets coming on stronger now with a little over a minute left in the first 10-minute portion of the third period. 3-1 for Team Canada. Here is Kapustin, number 8. He's been strong down the right side. Feeds it across, gets it back, shoots wide. And Cheevers got bumped by a Soviet player sailing through the goal crease, Petrov. Now here's number 21, Bernier, for Team Canada. Being checked from behind by Petrov. Finally lost the puck. It's over to Kotov, number 29. Out for Valery Harlamov. Down the right side, swings inside the line, gets around Schmier, drops it in front, right there at the side. Off the side of the goal goes Petrov's shot. Tied up in behind by Rick Smith, by Houle, but the Soviets keep the pressure on. Now, here's a clearing pass for Mahavlich, out to Serge Bernier. Rezhan Houle off his leg, down to the Soviet corner. Fyodorov watches them there. They pile up. Vasiliev moves in. There'll be a face-off as Bernier takes a couple of swats at the Soviet player.
I would think Coach Kolganin certainly talked to the Russian players between the second and third period, and I see more evidence now that they're finishing the check and they're taking dead aim on red jerseys.
I think that close call on the second goal, which they thought they deserved, has inspired them and made them more determined. They played better hockey ever since that point, Howie. They still trail by 2 at 3-1 with 14 seconds left until they will change ends for the balance of this third period. 10:14 left in the period. Here is Walton on the draw. Back for Bruce McGregor, and it goes into the crowd. 11 seconds remaining now. Be anxious to hear how Mr. Kulagin talks to the press after the game at his press conference. Both coaches will talk to the press with respect to that goal that appeared to be in. Now here is number 18, Schmier, back in his own zone, covering up with a pass for Henderson. He got turned around. It's loose in there. Petrov across the Harlem Oval, and that is all. Play has stopped for the 10-minute change of ends here in the final period. With the score, Canada 3 and the Soviets 1. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
This is the hindsight mirror. No hands needed. It stays in any position for viewing the back, sides, and even the top of your head. And it's great for close-ups. The whole family will love hindsight. Hindsight is always handy, but never in the way. It folds neatly against your wall. You'll love it. Ask for hindsight. Only $7.77 in decorator colors. $77 in decorator colors.
Available at leading department stores.
Don Chevrier with Howie Meeker at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Billy Harris has his team 2 goals up with 10 minutes of the second game of the 74 Soviet-Canada series still to be played. And the Soviets are not out of this one yet. Ralph Backstrom shot the puck on the faceoff down to the blue line. Bruce McGregor. Anderson sweeping in, shoots. Oh, touch it, robbed him again. Coming out to cut down the angle on Paul Henderson. Now here is Stapleton, right in front. Relay was tipped and blocked by Tretiak. Right off the stick of Bruce McGregor in front of the Soviet goal. Early pressure here from the faceoff by the Canadian team. Alexander Yakushev at the Team Canada line. Had it taken away by Tremblay, kept in by Lyapkin. Down to the corner to Yakushev with Lebedev in behind. Bumped by Pat Stapleton. Now J.C. Tremblay has it. And then has it taken away, tied up by 2 Soviet players. A pass for Yakushev. Intercepted smartly and cleared away by Bruce McGregor to center ice. Walton has it drift off his stick, and back out to center ice they come. Shooting it into the crowd of the Team Canada bench with 9:06 to play in the hockey game.
Here's a great pass, but certainly watch Tretiak right here when he realizes that Team Canada player is going to shoot. There's a defenseman just leaving the front of the net unprotected. Watch Tretiak. There you see him back in the circle. Now look at here. Look at him come out. Stand up and come out.
Beautiful.
He's a goalie.
The Soviet media here have announced they'll present a gold medallion award to the most gentlemanly player after the 4 games in Canada. We'll have the winner for you after our game in Vancouver on Monday. Pass too far for Bobby Hull. McKenzie shoots it in. Tretiak comes out to stop it in behind. Leaves the puck for Kuznetsov, who gets it up for Kapustin. Relayed down the ice. Icing has been waved off. Cheevers will handle it there and leave it for Paul Schmier, who's had a lot of ice time tonight. He's played exceedingly well, number 18. Schmier of the Cleveland Crusaders. Now Lacroix having trouble against the Soviet defenseman Kuznetsov. Into the boards they go. Bobby Hull on the far side. They'll tie it up. Kuznetsov gets a stick up high against Lacroix, and Schmier is all too eager to help out. (3-1) for Canada. 8:27 to play in the final period. Very warm here in Maple Leaf Gardens tonight. I understand tickets were being offered for in excess of $100 a pair just before this game. Indicative of the tremendous interest in this 1974 Team Canada Soviet series. Jerry Cheevers strong in goal for the Canadian team. As it skipped by his stick in behind the goal. Played ahead now by Bernier out to center ice. Backstrom always hustling, looking for that puck, just missed it. Now a relay is broken up by Bernier. Here's Backstrom sweeping in center ice. He got turned around, kicked it back to Tremblay. Now Stapleton. Now on the left side, here's Markow getting it down to Backstrom in front for Bernier. Oh, he shot it wide, just wide of the Soviet goal. Markow shoots, and a great save again by Vladislav Tretiak from behind the goal. Backstrom got taken down by Kuznetsov. A clearing pass in front of the goal. Loose for Markow, still loose. Kuznetsov sweeps it off to one side. Great action again around Tretiak, the Soviet goalie. Bodanov out there now. He has not seen much ice time. Gets a shot directly on Jerry Cheevers. Stapleton drifts it up to center ice. Luchenko intercepts it there and gives the puck away to Stapleton, waiting for Bernier to get onside, and then lost it inside the blue line to Maltsev. 7:15 to play in the game. 3-1 for Canada here at Maple Leaf Gardens. Number 19, Vladimir Shadrin now moves up for the Soviet Union. Bodied partially across along the boards by Mark Howe. Howe and Shadrin tie up again. Howe lost the puck there to Mikhailov. Back on the point, the shot. Vasiliev, rebound from Maltsev. Right in front, the relay. It's still loose, and Cheevers finally holds it. A dangerous Soviet thrust right there.
Hey, look, we want you to just take a look at this. How about that great save? That Cheevers is something else. 2 in a row. Got to be a story of goaltenders tonight, doesn't it?
Certainly has. I don't see how you can go any other way in terms of choosing outstanding players. Tretiak, I felt, should have been named the other night as the outstanding Soviet player. We saved the tie for them. That went to Harlamov instead, who got 1 goal. But tonight there should be no doubt, certainly, about Tretiak and possibly Cheevers, too. Now here's Petrov on the faceoff. Schmier lost it. Mikhailov back to Petrov. Gets tangled up in legs, finally out over the blue line. Anderson's pass for McGregor was broken up. The Soviets are coming on strong here. Harlamov got taken down. There's going to be a penalty against Rick Smith. And the pressure now can be expected to mount. 6:37 to play in the game as Smith will go to the penalty box.
Take a look at the penalty right here. It's a pretty good hook. Gets the hand up in high. I think the Russian played it pretty smart, too.
Canada penalty to number 17, Rick Smith. 2 minutes for holding. The time 13:23.
You kind of expect top-notch effort from Stapleton and Tremblay, but Rick Smith and Schmier and Rick Lee and Selwood have played just extremely well.
No way you can fault this Team Canada defense corps, Howie. And now to attempt to kill off the penalty. They're going to send out their 2 top defensemen getting a lot of ice time, Stapleton and Tremblay, with McGregor up front with Paul Henderson. Whitey Stapleton. Harlamov watched him as he got it out over the blue line for Paul Henderson. Henderson against the boards with Vasiliev, and Harlamov comes in to take over. Valeri Harlamov. Stapleton way up there forechecking him. Forced the play right back into the Soviet zone. Fyodorov, number 4, having trouble with McGregor. J.C. Tremblay takes over, feeds it across to Stapleton, just away from an on-rushing number 16, Petrov. Here is Mikhailov, 13, inside the line, dropping it back. The shot is wide. Into the corner goes Kharlamov, tied up by Henderson. Henderson trying to win a faceoff is alone there, and they whistle it down as Harlamov moved in. 1:11 left in Smith's penalty, 5:48 remaining in the game. 3-1, Team Canada. Wherever you are across the country and our viewers in the United States, we certainly hope you're enjoying this, the second game of the 1974 Hockey Summit Series. Game 3 from Winnipeg, 1 Winnipeg time, 2 Eastern time on Saturday afternoon. Big hand for Pat Stapleton now as he comes over to the Team Canada bench. He's not going off, just going to talk with Billy Harris and resume the tremendous ice time that he has put in on behalf of this team tonight. On the face-off, Shadrin had it go across to Tremblay. Now Stapleton breaks out ahead of him, just feeds it down the ice slowly with now a minute left in Rick Smith's penalty. Soviets forming up with Shadrin ahead to Lebedev. Across to Yakushev. Lebedev inside the blue line. Right wing pass for Shadrin. Glove to the corner by Shadrin. Got turned around there by Mark Howe. It's shot down the ice. Now 40 seconds remaining in the penalty. Yakushev. Gives the puck to Shadrin with Lebedev and Yakushev inside the line, and the pass back just trapped in time by Luchenko. Mark Howe came sliding out, could not win the puck. Number 3, Vladimir Luchenko winding up. It's loose and shot to the corner on the boards by Stapleton. Soviets with a power play on. Sagankov, Luchenko, cross to the far side. Yakushev shot, rebound, and Cheevers will hold it. We have 6 seconds left in the Smith penalty and 4:43 in the game. An important face-off coming up here. And of the 81 face-offs tonight, Team Canada is 150.
Here's the box, and here's the real good discipline by Team Canada. They just don't come out far enough, quick enough. But that's the fella they try to work open, and see them sneak number 11 in to try to move the Team Canada defenseman out of that corner.
Gordie Howe is back from the hospital after his x-rays, and we hope that they certainly proved negative in terms of any damage to the great number 9, and we'll see him in future games in this series. Here's Stapleton gulping it off the boards down the ice. That will kill the penalty. Out of the box comes Rick Smith. Team Canada back at full strength. They now change on the go. They relieve those 2 tired defensemen, Tremblay and Stapleton. Now Bodanoff inside the line. Batted away by Lacroix. Still at the Team Canada line. Shot up to center ice now by Bobby Hull. Left the puck there for Maltsev. Maltsev inside the line, shooting. Blocked by Paul Schmier. In behind the goal, Cheevers will trap it. 4:12 left.
Look at that Hull finish the check. I don't think he's checked like this in his career. Every time I look at the Russian face against the boards, it's number 16, Bobby Hull, that's taken him in. He's just been just tremendous.
Well, you think of Bobby Hull as a great scorer, but you see him play in this series, you appreciate what a fine all-round hockey player he really is. He's playing, mind you, with a knee he injured about 10 days ago that is not quite right yet. Now here is Schmier sending it up into the center ice area, having it again at his own blue line, getting it over now to Johnny McKenzie. McKenzie ahead for Hull. It is whistled down. There's going to be a penalty call. Rick Smith, or Lacroix, is calling for a 5-minute major. He's indicating blood to the official.
Well, Kuznetsov just two-handed him right across the head. Lacroix took him into the boards, and as Kuznetsov spun off the boards, he just cut him right across the top of the head with a stick.
Well, is it 2 or is it 5 minutes for drawing blood? We don't know yet, but the Soviet player is going to go to the penalty box and give Team Canada the manpower advantage now with 3:56 to play in the game.
Yes, and just kill the 2 minutes. We don't need another one. Just tremendous to sit up here and watch these fellas represent hockey and
2 minutes
represent
for
Canada
high sticking.
and just work so hard.
16:04.
Gives you tremendous pride.
Maltsev is penalized for high sticking. Little under 4 minutes left now. The Soviets in a desperate situation, trailing by 2, a man short. They play it down the ice. Pat Stapleton, who's killed penalties, gone with Team Canada power plays, seen regular service, had an all-round fine night. Now swings out, being harassed from behind. He's taken down. No penalty is called. McKenzie behind the goal, centers it out. The shot just wide by Bobby Hull. Good, strong wrist shot by Hull, missed the mark. Back to Tremblay, across to Stapleton. Stapleton shot. Tritchak handles that. Hull played across. Lacroix could not relay it. Behind the goal now for Lacroix, number 7. Waiting for his chance. Back to Tremblay. Over to Stapleton. Down to Bobby Hull. Lacroix's in front. But it comes back to Stapleton. Hull again. Waiting. Shooting it across the goal mouth. Back to J.C. Tremblay. His shot deflected. He scores! Off Lacroix and into the goal.
You know, everybody says, why don't we shoot the puck? Shoot the puck, shoot the puck. That's one thing in 12 years I heard more than anything else. Shoot the puck. It has to go in. If you get it at the net, there's so many things can happen.
Howie, this one off the Soviet defenseman, I believe, Kuznetsov. Let's watch, number
sure
12.
Did. It hit his stick right there. Poor Tritchak had an eye, a beat on it, had to shift gears and couldn't get back.
We've had 4 goals scored during penalties in this series so far. That was the 4th. And it's 4-1 for Team Canada with 2:57 remaining. People are happy in the gardens and
Scored
happy
by
across
number
Canada,
7,
I'm sure.
Andre Lacroix.
They give it to Lacroix.
Assist, number 16, Bobby Hull.
The Russians might take
And
a
number
page
3, J.C.
out of our
Tremblay.
book. I mean, we shoot the puck.
Tremblay and Hull at 17:03 get the assist. Lacroix is waving at the official saying, I did not score the goal, it was Hull. They may change it, they should change it later. Here is Harlamov now with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to play. His team down 4-1. Up to the center ice area. Petrov inside the line. Cheevers puts the stick out. It goes to the corner. Houle ties up. Mikhailov in there for a face-off. And they're going to correct that goal.
J.C. Tremblay.
Tremblay will get it.
Assist, number 7, Andre Lacroix. And number 16, Bobby Hull.
It was Tremblay's shot, of course, that was redirected into the goal by the Soviet player Kuznetsov. Typical of Lacroix, not wanting to take advantage, or the assumption that he might have touched the puck, promptly told the official, no, I did not. It is Tremblay's goal. Now here's Petrov to Mikhailov at 2:15 to play. Into the corner for Serge Bernier, the big center from the Quebec Nordiques. He and Rick Smith in there against Petrov, and there'll be a face-off. 2:09 left now, and there's J.C. Tremblay.
That Schmier just gave Mikhailo a pretty good going over just off the left side of the net. Golly, he's played well tonight.
Howie, strange coincidence with 2:09 left. The score reads the same as the final score the last time in 1972 here in Toronto, 4-1 for Team Canada.
Well, I feel like the weight of the world's been taken off my shoulders. Never so happy to see a goal go in.
It took a tremendous amount of pressure off this Canadian team because the Soviets were pressing. And now they must catch up in a hurry. It's an almost impossible task with just 2 minutes left now. Stapleton shovels it across the blue line. Sagankov away from Mike Walton now. Checked by Walton, who did a great job of hanging in there. Henderson comes in to help out. In behind the goal, Luchenko goes down. Sagankov gets it up on the right boards, and again, Henderson is swirling and checking and attacking as he has all throughout this game. Now here's number 19, Shadrin, leaving it for Lebedev. Lebedev hounded by Bruce McGregor, the right winger. Up to center ice finally for Yakushev with Shadrin. Just missed a check from Stapleton. Hangs onto the puck inside the line. Still in Soviet control. Here's Luchenko trying to backhand it down. It's shot out by Pat Stapleton with 1 minute and 15 seconds to play. Team Canada 4 and the USSR 1. Lebedev. Cross the line. Into the corner away from Tremblay. Centers it out. McGregor intercepts. There's going to be a penalty. I think the infraction was on Lebedev as he swung around the net and took a bit of a chop from J.C. Tremblay, and it should be a slashing call.
I kind of think maybe when Lebedev made the deke out here close to the blue line, J.C.'s stick come up and caught him high in the face.
Here he is coming across the line.
Now watch his stick. Got him kind of high.
High stick. He brought it up in there. Gave him a chop in the corner later on, too.
Yeah.
Now here's number 3, Luchenko.
For good measure.
With only 50 seconds remaining, and Backstrom forward checking tenaciously in there to win a face-off in the Soviet zone. And listen to the applause. You just can't help being a fan of this team, can you, Howie?
You sure can't. Class all the way. You know they're dying out there, but look at them dig.
Bodanov, number 24, on the left side, gets it across to Anisin. He's been used sparingly in this game. Kuznetsov, center ice as Matsev fell, then recovered. Soviets quite disorganized now. Only 25 seconds to play. This crowd may count them down soon. Here's Backstrom coming back as the Soviet player comes across the line. Kuznetsov, it is offside. The pass to Bodanov, and we have only 18 seconds left. That applause you hear from the Gardens fans and from Howie Meeker sitting right next to me. The line of Hall, Lacroix, and McKenzie, they got 7 points. In the first game, 7 points in this game. A super performance, 14 points of the series so far. Now the puck down behind the Soviet goal. This crowd here is going to give them a standing ovation at the finish. We're down to the final 10 seconds of play now. At center ice, Bobby Hull with the puck, trying to kill this penalty off. 3 seconds left now. Comes out to center ice. They stopped it at 3 seconds for a face-off. A happy, happy crowd at Maple Leaf Gardens, and I'm sure millions of happy viewers across the country as Team Canada is 3 seconds away from a victory following an opening game tie in this 8-game series. 2 seconds, 1 second, it's over. Team Canada beats the USSR 4-1 in a great performance here tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it. With the final score, Canada 4 and the Soviets 1. This is Game 2 from Toronto.
New this year, the Canadian division of the WHA. Yes, the Quebec Nordiques, Toronto Toros, Winnipeg Jets, Edmonton Oilers, and Vancouver Blazers will provide a new dimension to Canada's traditional rivalries. You'll watch superstars like Gordie Howe, Frank Mahovlich, and Paul Henderson, Rejan Houle, Johnny McKenzie, and Bobby Hull. For season tickets, call your local team office. It's going to be a great hockey year in the WHA. Make sure that you're a part of it.
For 4 million years, the survival of mankind was more pressing than his numbers. Now his numbers have become the prime element of survival. Elements of Survival considers his numbers, his food, and his social institutions.
The hard facts about world food supplies are probed on Elements of Survival, Act 2, Food, Sunday night on CBC.
A standing ovation as Team Canada leaves the ice at Maple Leaf Gardens, 4-1 victors over the national team, the Olympic champions, the world amateur champions from the USSR. And in just a moment, we will have the outstanding players as judged by a panel of sports writers and broadcasters.
Ladies and gentlemen,
at this game tonight.
a
And
panel
here it
of
is.
Canadian and Soviet sports writers and broadcasters have selected the 2 most valuable players of this game, who will receive the new prestige set of the 2nd series of Olympic coins just released for sale this week. Making the presentation will be the Honorable Bryce Mackesy, the Postmaster General. The most valuable player for the Soviets, Vladislav Tretiak. And now the most valuable player for the Canadian team, Jerry Cheevers.
Igor Cherikov is our interpreter. We'd like to talk to Vladislav Tretiak for a moment. I wonder if you would ask Vladislav exactly what his thoughts were on the Mike Walton penalty shot. That was on the penalty shot.
Как штрафной удар выдержал?
Как? Он очень примитивно действовал.
He said that the shot was made very primitively.
Я
It was
выкатил,
a very
что
primitive
он
shot.
бросил, и никаких у него ложных моментов не было.
He didn't try even to sort of make a foul move or something, and he shot straight.
That surprised him, did it?
Это тебя удивила простота и примитивность?
Я думал, что у них будет бить такой более техничный, а это просто как-то.
He expected it to be a more complicated shot, but it was
sort
very
of peek it
primitive.
in
That's
there, yeah.
right. It
Thank
was
you very
very
much.
primitive.
Congratulations, sir. Right. Jerry Cheevers? Jerry Cheevers, if you keep going like this, there's no way you're going to get a rest.
Well, I don't know, at times, you sort of get up for games like this, you know, that's part of the battle, getting up. I'm awful tired. Just halfway through September, we played 2 games in 4 nights. It's tired.
What was the toughest penalty? Had to be the third, I guess, huh?
I don't know. Oh, the toughest period, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think when you're only up by 2, I'd rather be up by 1 goal or 3 or 4 goals, not 2. For some reason, you know, if they get a goal, it gives them some momentum to come back. But I was just, hey, listen, they try to knock our defense, and they're just super, boy. Believe me, they're playing so good. I'm seeing most of the shots and everything like that. I think it's going to be a super series.
Strange, that's the department that everybody thought was going to be the weakest, isn't it?
I think so. But, you know, they underestimate guys like Paul Schmier and Rick Smith. They're just super, super hockey players, boy. And people